Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you guys doing? Good? Alhamdulillah. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala wa ba'd. Today, first of all, I would like to say, to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving me the opportunity to be with you today. And even though the weather is very cold for someone coming from Texas in a very warm countryside, but just walking into the building and seeing all these beautiful faces and the excitement on your faces make me feel the warmth of welcoming. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for organizing such beautiful gathering, important gathering, because we're living in a time that we need one another. We live in a time where us as a community, as a society at large, we need to come together, to be close to one another, to help one another, to look after one another, to support one another, because that's a means of success and surviving. And since my talk about success today and the habit of success, because I do believe we should be in the business of success. And this talk today is not, I'm not talking about a particular type of success. What you're going to hear today, or from me in this lecture, is something that you can use to help you to be a successful father, a successful parent, a successful student at college, successful businessman or a businesswoman, to be a successful politician, or to achieve success when it comes to your relationship with Allah, to achieve success for whatever plan that you have in life. Earlier, I was told that some people might be disturbed by the words of the adhan and hearing the adhan. But if we would know that al-adhan is a call for success every single day. We as Muslim, on average, we hear the call to success 15 times a day, and some madahib 20 times a day. When we hear in the adhan and the iqamah every single day, 5 times a day, can you imagine? Hayya ala salah, hayya ala al-falah. Come to success. It is an invitation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to all of us, and keep reminding us that we should be successful. Come to success. Success is something so embedded in our daily activity as Muslims. And not only the success of the akhirah, but also the success of dunya, of this life, and the next as well. And no doubt that the success in the hereafter is the most important success. But it doesn't mean in any way or shape or form that the success in this life is not important. But we should care for both. And it will be a such shame that you are successful in this worldly life and you're not in the hereafter. فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. Those who Allah will save them from hellfire and enter paradise, they have achieved success. And indeed, it's the greatest success. I would like to see our events, our organizations, our mosques, our institutes, our non-profit organization and profit organizations successful. I would like to see our country successful. And that success will come after everybody contribute and everybody come together and become a goal that I want to be a successful person every day. But that will also not come by just wishes and just keep telling yourself, I'm successful, I'm successful. That would help, but by itself wouldn't take you very far. So I hope that you keep your mind very open when I talk about my points. Wa alaikum assalam.
Vi vill bara påminna om att det är lite utskriftspel på schemat. Så innan
I don't know what he said, but I assume it's something important. So the first rule for success, and I choose this because it's quite interesting. It's just for you to know that mistakes, failure, hardship are not enemy of success. You can be discouraged by your failure, or you can learn from it. And part of our belief as Muslims, especially among the Sunni, the mainstream Sunni belief, that one thing that we study in Al-Qadr, the concept of Al-Qadr, the predestiny, that we know whatever Allah decreed upon us is good for us. If it looks good or it looks bad. These challenges in life, these difficulties that you go through, these hardship that you go through, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never meant to make it a form of discouragement or a punishment, or meant for you to be not able to achieve what you want or to break you apart. No, it actually meant to make you grow strong. The Prophet ﷺ said that يُبْتَلَ النَّاسُ عَلَى قَدْرِ إِيمَانِهِمْ. People will be tested according to their faith. Those who are strong in faith, their test will be even harder. Because the harder the test is, the stronger you become. You might study in chemistry about diamonds. And they will tell you that diamonds are made of a carbon. Basically, simple carbon. And the same thing, the charcoals. And the difference between the two is well known to every one of you, that this rock is very expensive and this one is very cheap. But the reason behind why this is very expensive rock, it is because its ability to resist pressure. Diamonds can resist pressure. That's why they use it in digging through basically soil that is so solid and hard, like rocks. While charcoal, you can crush it with your 2 fingers. The more you have the ability to resist that pressure, the more valuable you are. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala train us. And He would never put us in a position or test us with something that we cannot handle. He is more merciful than that. We know, as Muslim, we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our Lord, loves us. لا تحسبوه شرا لكم بل هو خير لكم. Don't think of it as something evil and bad. You should know that it is good for you. وعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا ويجعل الله فيه خيرا كثيرا. You might dislike something, you might hate something, and Allah will bring so much good out of that thing. And just by quick look at the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, the story of Al-Khadr and Musa, these are just some examples, and life filled with examples like this. Even in each and every one of us, in our personal life, you might remember moments where you were down. You thought that this is the worst moment of my life. You thought, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doing this to me? Why God doing this to me? Enough. And soon you realize that these hardship, these moments of difficulties, really contributing to building you up, to rise you, to make you strong. And that's all determined on how you look at these basically difficulties. Do you see it as an opportunity for you to grow? Or you take it as a reason for you to be buried? I live in a countryside. So they said that this farmer had a big crack in his land. So his dog fell into the crack. Call the dog don't respond. Calling the dog is not responding. So he felt bad, he thought the dog is dead. So what he did, he got a load of sand and he said, I will bury and close this crack so no other animal will ever get hurt again. But the dog wasn't dead, was just unconscious. With a weak voice, he couldn't hear the dog. So the man started basically taking the sand and putting it in the crack on the ground. And the dog realized what happened. What happening is him being buried alive. But the dog was smart. Every time a lot of sand will fall on his back, he will shake it off and he will jump on the top of the sand. Every time a the sand will come down, he will jump on the top of that sand. That sand that meant to bury him was the reason for him to be risen, to come out of that crowd. Same thing was life. These tests, these difficulties that you have, either you can let it bury you, or you can use it to rise, to be risen, to make you stronger. I hired a personal trainer. So when we started, he said, Shaykh Waleed, you have to know that, as we say, no pain, no gain. So I have to tear some of your muscles in order for this muscle to grow. Yes, it is painful in the beginning, but in the end, it brings a lot of good to you. We say a stumble might prevent a fall. You think the stumble is something that you hate, but it might prevent you from something worse. Just look at the story, and I don't have time to go through that because that can be the whole entire lecture about this one point. But just quick study. Go read about the story of Apple as a company. Go look at GE, General Electric. Go look at Microsoft. Read the story of Mr. Honda, who lost his factory several times. One burned and one in the war, earthquake. And you will see how every time this happened to him, he was able to perfect his production. And it made him stronger and stronger. I still remember when my son was diagnosed with leukemia, type of cancer, in his blood. And it was a very hard test for the family, for all of us. But guess what? These days, wallahi, one of the things that I say, Ya Allah, I praise you for your infant wisdom. Because that experience have made us as family much stronger. Way more close to one another. Have changed a lot of things in my life. A lot of bad habit to be a good habit. Especially when it comes to eating and some of the health conscious that we learn as a family. And not only affected us, we all my family volunteers with a lot of cancer, basically rehabs and hospitals, and we put hours into that. I will never be active in this area, even organizing fundraising for them. I will never be active in this area, me and my family, if we didn't go through that experience. I met a young Somali girl who had a very terrible upbringing. Between camps in Kenya to travel through the continent of Africa, landed in the end in Canada. And without going into detail, but she really suffered a lot. And she asked me, what's good, Shaykh, for me that I had to go through that? Unfortunately, even she experienced rape in that tough journey in her life. And I said, what do you do right now? She said, oh, my life, alhamdulillah, changed completely. I said, what do you do? She had a master's degree. And I graduated from a very respectful university in Canada. Also, I'm very active with civil organization. I started my own organization to help a lot of Somali young women around the world, especially in that part of the world, who's suffering a lot. And I said, yes, that was a very difficult, bad experience that you had to go through. But do you think that experience has anything to do with your success today? She said, it has everything to do with my success today. It motivated me. It made me very committed to what I'm doing today. It inspired me. It's like a fire that's pushing me to go forward. It's a very important point because nothing in this life comes easily. إِنَّكَ كَادِحٌ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ كَدْحًا فِي كَبَدٍ. Allah created us in this life and the nature of this life, that it's hard. Nothing comes easy. Even in a rich country like yours, we call you guys, Americans, we call you guys spoiled people. Because it's tough for people in America when they see and they compare their lifestyle, okay, to the Scandinavian countries' lifestyle. How hard for many of us to basically just to find basics, things like health services. Many people can't offer that because they don't have the money. That's why we always laugh when our president think that Norwegian and Scandinavian people will migrate to America. I say, yeah, sure. Anyway, so even the akhirah, even success in Jannah, it depends on the challenges that you face in your life and the tests that you go through in life. أم حسبتم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يأتكم مثل الذين خلوا من قبلكم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يعلم الله الذين جاهدوا منكم ويعلم الصابرين. So Allah, even about Jannah, it's a test. حفت الجنة بالمكاره في صحيح مسلم. Jannah is surrounded with challenges. It's not easy. It's a challenge. But these challenges, as I said, it make you grow strong. The second point that I want to say, that your success depends on your ability to use and utilize the gifts and the talents and the blessings that Allah have given you. Each and every one of us, Allah blessed him and her with so many things. Ability to do so many things. And you'll be surprised how much you can do. And if you think of yourself, lest you're wrong. When Allah created human beings, the angel said to Allah, when Allah said He created Adam and He will send him down to earth, He said they will fight one another. Allah said about us, إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. I know of Adam and I know of the human race what you don't know. Humans have so much abilities beyond your imaginations. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala سَخَّرَ لَنَا مَا فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ. Allah made everything on earth, on the sea, everything in this universe for us to serve us. Why? Because we have the ability to control it. We have the ability to use it. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't see that of themselves. You know, you and all the successful people in all different fields you can think of, all of you, I'm just giving random names. Edison, for example, as a scientist. Al-Bukhari, Abu Hanifa, Al-Shafi'i, in religious study. You name it. Whatever successful, successful businessman, Bill Gates, anything you can think of. We all share one simple fact, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran. والله أخرجكم من بطون أمهاتكم لا تعلمون شيئا وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, He brought you all from your mother's womb, knows nothing. You think Al-Bukhari came from his mother's womb saying, حدثنا? Or Abu Hanifa came from his mother was saying fatwa? Or, the scientists came with a formula? No, we all came from our mother womb the same way. No, nothing. But Allah said, He gave you the ability to see, the ability to hear, the ability to comprehend, to understand. So it depends after that how you utilize these tools. That will determine what will happen next. We have all the same start point. And believe me, it is so much little has to do with talents, but it has to do a lot with your basically commitment. The difference basically between successful people and others is not the lack of strength, lack of opportunities, lack of talents. Reality is, it's the lack of will, determination, how serious you are to achieve success. Your talents are gifts from Allah to you. What you do with it it is your gift back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So every one of us should ask himself and herself, am I using these talents and these gifts from Allah fully? I know of a woman in her late 50s, she finished memorizing the Quran. And now she, mashallah, has a class, she teaches Quran, giving ijazah. She started in her 50s. She said, I didn't realize that I have the ability to do all this when I was younger. I wish that I started this much younger. I would have more effect, impacted more lives. So many people, unfortunately, live and they die and they don't discover the talents and their abilities. That's why it's been said, cemeteries it's a place where millions of ideas there buried, millions of opportunities there. Never see the light. Why? Because the people who carry this idea, they never took it to the light. They never tried it. Another point, that success, third one, success is pretty much depending on a very interesting concept. We call it, as a Muslim, al-ihsan. Basically, to perfect your work, to do your best. It's an attitude. Is it good or great? You know, basically, the difference between failure and success, that's doing things nearly correct, nearly right, or doing things exactly correct or right. That will determine. Unfortunately, it's a very bad culture in many Muslim countries I have seen, and many Middle Eastern countries, not only related to Muslims, but it's a bad habit that some people have, this habit or this culture of, you know what, kullu mashi, kullu khair. Everything is okay. You know, it's okay. You know, they don't care to make things correct. You know, at least they did something. They don't care about making things correct and perfect. Where is all these verses in the Quran? Repeatedly Allah said, Inna Allah yuhibbul muhsineen. Allah loves those who do ihsan. Inna Allah kataba al-ihsana ala kulli shay. Allah prescribed ihsan to perfect your work in every single matter in religion. Inna Allah yuhibbu idha amila ahadukum amalan an yutqina. Allah loves when you see someone doing something to do it perfectly. A commitment to excellence, that will enable you to attain the success you seek. That commitment. You know, among the meaning of ihsan, to perfect your work, is to focus. A lot of people don't know how to focus. They work in everything. They are, mashallah, focusing on education and focusing on political issues and focus on business and focus on, you know, family issues. Well, how you achieve success? How you can master everything? One of the problems that we have today, the way our culture today, unfortunately, especially in the West, that it made us with the globalization of the information, with Google in our hand, it made us basically people who have many talents, but we master none. Because we don't focus on anything. We get in the habit of constant change. We know a little bit about here and there, but we don't focus on one thing. And success, it means your ability to focus. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard to say, you know what, I'm committed to this cause, and I'm going to focus on this cause. Especially, I noticed that in Islamic work and organizations and masajid, every masjid, every organization want to be a super center. Every sheikh want to be a super sheikh. Many times when some people said, I'm not expert in that. You need to have a marriage counselor. I'm not a marriage counselor. You need a lawyer. You need a psychiatrist. But if everybody thinks that he can master everything, you know what? He's an activist and a civil rights activist, and he's an international lawyer all of a sudden talk about international issues and talk about policies that has to do with people's life and every aspect of life. How can you do that? How can you claim that? Success, it's when you focus on what you're good at. Success, it means, and also ihsan, you basically perfect things. It is when you respect specialties and you work as a team. Everybody has an area that they're specialized on and focus on. Then everybody come together. That will bring success to the community. Number 4, success is very much connected to the concept of sabr, patience. Patience. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam قال إنما النصر مع الصبر. Success and victory comes with patience. Those who have no patience cannot achieve success. Patient people do. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Losing. Allah said human beings are in constant losses, except one of the quality of those who will be successful, basically وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, that they have patience. Patience will allow you to control your emotions. Because if you don't have control over your emotions, you make so many mistakes. You basically misjudge many things. And I'm not against, don't misunderstand me. I'm saying it's important to have emotions. I don't want emotionless people. No, that's not success. But I always say, especially, like give you an example, how to successfully choose the right person for a marriage. So I want to give this topic to be very wide. You know, sometimes why you fail in choosing the right person? Because you blindly followed your heart. I say it's fine to follow your heart, but don't forget to take your brain with you. But when you basically cancel your brain and you just become emotional about it, you will make the wrong choice, the wrong judgment. Patience allowed you to control your emotions. Patience will also give you the time to think, to analyze. Sometimes we lose so much, it's because I couldn't control my tongue. I say something very quickly. Either I made a commitment or just recently, I'm trying to contract someone to do construction work in my masjid. I almost said, I accept. Then I said, be patient. Success comes with patience. I said, there's another guy coming, I'll check him out first. Guess what? I was able to save $2,000. Just in 2 works, exact the same specifications. Same period of time. It's based sabr. I was successful in making that deal because I had sabr, I had patience. Also, those who practice patience a lot, patient people, they always look at the big picture. They look at the farther point. They don't just look at the quick gain that they want to achieve. Also, one of the beautiful meaning about sabr, Ibn al-Qayyim mentioned this point. Ibn al-Qayyim said, patience is not a passive thing. Patience is allowed you to adjust. What that means, it allowed you to adjust to the new situation that you are in. So if you don't have patience, you get angry, frustrated quickly. And you will just study biology, and you will maybe, have a degree, college degree. And I'm sure you come to know that if basically your ability to adjust and your ability to grow with the environment around you, that's the secret behind your survival. What do we call it? Evolution. You evolve because your ability to adjust to the change that's happening. That's how you survive. And that sabr allowed you to do that. It's what we call it التكيف مع الوضع. That your ability to adjust yourself to the new situation. And that comes with sabr. So unless you change how you are, you will always have what you got. But if you want to get something new, you know, to change and to adjust yourself to new situation. Also, number 5, your success, the only disability in life is a bad attitude. That's the only disability. If you have, as the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, وَمَنْ سَخِطْ فَلَهُ السُّخْطِ وَمَنْ رَضِي فَلَهُ الرِّضَى. Very beautiful, the Prophet put. If you always frustrating with things, if you're always angry at the world, angry at everybody, angry at your family, you always feel that you're less, your attitude towards yourself and everything around you is negative and bad, you will get nothing but failure. But if your attitude is positive, you always look to the bright side. You always look at the light in the end of the tunnel as a mean of success. Because there is people who look at the light in the end of the tunnel and they think it's the train. They're so negative. They don't think of anything positive that comes out ahead of them. It's your attitude, remember that. So your attitude in many areas. Another area that I noticed also, a lot of people, they have this attitude to live like victim. They love this victim card. They always play the card of victim. Oh, we are prosecuted. We are been unfairly treated. We've been discriminated against. People don't like us. People hate us. People do this to us. And you always play this card. And there is also some children, some wives, some husbands, that's always they play this card, the victim card. You know what? If you go into always to see yourself as a victim, you will live like that. One time I said to one of the organizations who are very active in our community, I said, I really appreciate your work in defending our rights and working in civil rights. But something very important to keep in mind, I don't want my community always to feel that they are victims. And some people think that this is the only gate that they come into government or, that's not right. Because that will determine how far we're going to go. But if your attitude as a victorious person, a victor, that will be different. You guys heard of that young Sudani kid in Dallas who been arrested by the police because he created a clock and they thought it's what? It's a bomb, and there's a big, huge controversial issue about this incident. Anyway, what I said, I remember that day, I said, what made me sad is not when I heard that, Microsoft gave him a gift and people offered millions of dollars scholarship for him. I said to myself, all these millions of dollars were offered to him in a form of scholarships and funds for his college. Didn't come because Ahmed was a smart, successful kid. Only came because he's a victim. Only came because he was discriminated against according to those people's point of view. And that's nice. But I wish that he got this gift because they recognize how talented he is. I wish that you will be recognized not because of your weakness, but because of your strength. That's a big difference between the two attitudes. You live this way or you want to live that way. وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. This concept of izzah, that I feel always power. I'm a powerful person. I always feel that I'm strong. I always raise my head up. I always my back straight. That's an attitude in life. Also, one of the things related to the attitude is to basically have always a positive mental attitude. And that's so important, especially in these days when we hear all these, negative things around us. Instead of saying or how something can be done, rather than saying it cannot be done. Always think of how can you fix it? What will be the next step? Focus on what you're good at. Focus on what your community good at. Focus on what your kids are good at. In conferences, maybe this is advice for the people who run this beautiful conference. One of the biggest mistakes conference organizers do, in the end of the conference, they said, what we have done wrong in the conference. So start people to, oh, this was this, this was that, and all the negative things comes up. And by the way, that doesn't change anything. Study shows that mentioning the failure and the wrong and mistakes doesn't really help much to change. But when you focus on what is good, what is you're good at, your success, you build upon that and you grow. Even when our kids, with our parents, with our neighbors, with our society, focus on the good in the society. When the Prophet ﷺ said, I came to complete the good manners that you have. He didn't say, I came to change the bad manners that you have. He said, I came to complete the good manners that you have. Another point, number 6, that success, that will not come based on wishes and dreams. Success should lead to actions. Maybe some of you heard me saying this before. The only time you find, basically, the only time you will find success comes before work is in dictionary. That's the only time. But in real life, work leads to success. Work comes first. Hard work will allow you to achieve success. Taking the means, the necessary means, doing your best will lead to success. And there is so many, ادخلوا الجنة بما كنتم تعملون. You enter Jannah because of what you have that used to do. As a reward for your hard work. That's why you enter Jannah. And that's how it is in every aspect of life. You want to be successful in any area, you have to work hard. You want to be a successful businessman and businesswoman, successful student, in any area, you have to work hard. You want to learn Arabic language, you want to learn Quran, you have to be dedicated. You have to put effort. You have to put, basically, work. You have to work for it, to earn it. This idea that, just because I want it is going to happen, doesn't really, I wish it works, but it doesn't work that way. You have to have the courage also to do things. You have to have the courage to do things, the commitment to do the hard work. And with hard work, you will achieve the success that you do. Remember, those who talk a lot and do little, we call them in the Quran, Al-Quran called them hypocrites. That's hypocrisy. Henry Ford once said something very interesting. He said, you cannot build reputation based on what you are going to do. Your reputation should be based on what you have done. A father asked me to present his daughter in marriage. Her father was traveling. He said, Shaykh Waleed, this is like your daughter, and this guy interested in marrying her. Can you arrange the meeting in your masjid? So they said in front of me. So because she's like my daughter, I said to her, hey, one of the good things you have to look in any future husband, see if he is a loser or he is a successful person in life. And she said, and how can I know? I said, just ask him about his accomplishments in life. Such a good question. So when she asked him, so what you have accomplished in your life? Then he said, oh, I finished my master's degree. I said, okay, that's one. But I am planning to start a business. I'm planning to do this, and I will do that. And I'm doing this, and inshallah I will. 90% of the thing that he said, I will do, I'm planning to do. Then I said, son, you can't build reputation, because he's one of my students too. I said, son, you can't build reputation and make you proud of yourself based on what you are going to do. It's based on what you have done. So work hard, will bring success, and will give you the respect that you deserve. Number 7, success based on a good planning. You want to be successful, plan very well for what you're going to achieve. I give you an example, Ramadan coming in a few weeks. I'm sure every one of us would love to be successful in Ramadan, to make Ramadan a successful Ramadan. Let Allah forgive your sins and you do the best of ibadah. But tell me, how can you achieve this success and you never plan for Ramadan? Have you ever thought about planning for Ramadan? Okay, what days I'm going to basically make i'tikaf? What will be my plan for reading Quran? What will be my plan for learning? Do I have a specific time that I design for myself? Did I even plan for that? If you want to be successful in anything in life, you have to have a plan for it. I'm sure people planned a lot for this conference. months and of works and hundreds of hours of work. And before that, a lot of planning. And that's what will lead to success. Good planning means you know where you're at right now. Good planning means that you know exactly where you're going and how you're going to go there. Alternatives. Good planning, it means that you give yourself several options. Bad planning, when you have only one option. You have only one way to go there. Good planning, it means I have plan. People say there is plan A and B. I always say there is from A to Z in the Latin letters. Why only A and B? You can have A, B, C, D, and you can keep going. Because sometimes it doesn't work this way. I have something else, alternatives. Good planning, it means good timing. Good planning, it means clarity. Good planning, it means consulting. Good planning, it means you know your priorities. Good planning, it means smart planning. Which is basically to be smart, S to stand for specific, M for something measurable, A it stands for achievable, something you can achieve it. R it means something that you recorded. The T stands for timing. And you can make smarter. E something that you're excited about. And the R basically it is something that recorded for you. You record and you write down basically your plan, and you always look at it. I remember one of the brothers, he was looking at his wallet. So I noticed that he has in his wallet, small letter. I know this guy. It says, I will be a millionaire. So I asked him, is this your plan? He said, yes, I'm planning to make $1 million in 2 years. He's not planning to rob any banks or anything. He's a good businessman. Okay? Anyway, he made actually $1 million in less than 2 years. He was able to achieve it. But he said, every time I open my wallet, I look at my reminder. I'm going to do this. Another person came to me, an old man. He said, I had 5 wishes in my life. I planned for them. I had them written in a piece of paper in my wallet. Every time I'm about to make a major decision in my life, I pull that piece of paper and I say, would that decision allow me and help me to achieve these 5 points in my life or not? If it does, I will do it. If it doesn't, I will let it go. That's the good thing about planning, that you write them down. A goal that help you to focus. Number 8, success also depends a lot on taking a good role model for yourself. And role models, it doesn't need to be only a prophet or a messenger or a companions or a Muslim no. It depends on somebody successful that you model him or her. But I couldn't think of anyone better than Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for simple reasons. Number one, because Allah said he's the best of examples. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. Number two, the Prophet ﷺ is a role model in all aspects of life. There is a lot of people who are very good. We heard, I'm very fascinated by some of the work of Gandhi or Nelson Mandela or Martin Luther King, but I am very, very distant and ashamed of some of them in their personal lives and their family relationship. Something make you disgusted. Some of those, not necessarily these 3 individual only, but in general, you will find people very successful in one life. Steve Jobs successful in one area, but in other areas he's not a role model at all. And the only one that's amazing about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that you will find him very successful in many fronts. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But you don't need to have a perfect person to follow. But even if you take someone as a role model, even from these people, in their area, in their success, that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But just, I'm saying why I love that whenever a role model you take in life, you always keep Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as something that you always look up to. Choosing a role model accelerate your progress towards success. Especially if you have a mentor. And that's why I encourage a lot of you, this community, to try to think and to take serious steps to develop programs where you adopt young entrepreneurs, young members of your community and your society, high school, college students, and basically pair them up with people who can mentor them, who can help them to grow, someone that they can basically relate to. Number 9 is success depends a lot on how much confidence you have, how much you trust yourself. It's very important to have this confidence. One of the greatest barriers to success is the fear of failure and to be afraid that you're not able to succeed. You have to have confidence in yourself. And having confidence in self, it means having confidence in your ability. And it starts by having confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is there for you and will help you. I've seen many people failed in many fronts just because they have no confidence in themselves. And by the way, confidence is a contagious thing. If the community don't have confidence in themselves, in their leaders, it's hard for me to see how they succeed. If you have no confidence in your family or your children, I don't know how you want them to succeed. Confidence doesn't mean arrogance at all. Confidence doesn't mean that you became a person who's living in, unrealistic world. No. Confidence, it means you know about yourself and you know your weakness and you know your strength as well. Number 10, success is basically a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Success is a blessing as well from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. Any blessing that you have, it's from Allah. Don't be like Qarun who said, my success came from me. God has nothing to do with it. That's not success. Success should lead you to be more connected to God, not to be disconnected from your Lord. Success, when it is connected to, refer to Allah, make you humble. Make you always, you recognize that basically your level, your space, your limit. Not to be arrogant, like what Harun said. When you know that success comes from Allah, it makes you connected to Allah. You thank Him. And when you thank Allah, He gives you more. That also you always turn to Him and pray to Him. The power of prayers that appear in your life. My brothers and sisters, I really do believe that you can achieve the success that you deserve, that you want. I believe you can be a successful parent. You can be a successful student, a successful husband, a successful wife. Success, you will succeed in your parenting. You will succeed in your organization, in your school. You will succeed when it comes to your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When it comes to the Quran. When it comes to your relationship with others. You can achieve what you want. You can marry the one that you want and the one that you love. You can be better than what you are today. I do believe that every one of us has the ability to achieve that success in their life. I know that you can change your attitude. I know that you can quit these bad habits that is holding you down and preventing you from growing. I know that you can change your sins and you repent and you come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I know that you can make salah on time and you can memorize more Quran and you became more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I do believe that all of us can achieve many of these goals in our life and even more to achieve the success of entering Jannah and being saved from the hellfire. Succeed in receiving the love of Allah and the support of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But remember, these principles will help you to achieve these goals and more in your life. So go plan for your life, act towards your goals with full confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and in what He have blessed you with. Remember what they say. They say that dead fish, only dead fish, swim with the stream. Live fish always swim against the stream. It requires, as I said, hard working, and these challenges life, hopefully, it will give you that success that you want. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the end of this talk to make it us successful. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you, inshallah, soon.